there, and welcome to math class. In this video, I'm going to show you how to multiply fractions. So let's go ahead and give this page a title. Now you may notice that my page does not have lines on it this time, and that is because I want to show you something with these pieces, and the lines would mess it up. So it's fine for your page to have lines. I just am using this computer screen. I want my particular page to not have lines on this one. You need item number 16 from your memory pieces, and there are two of these boxes that are the same size. The first one, I want us to color 2/7 of this one. I'm going to use yellow, and you'll see why in just a second. So here is 1/7 and here is 2/7 of this box. And then in my second box, I want to color 3/5 of the whole thing. So I'm going to color 3 of the 5 rows. So here is 1/5, 2/5, 3/5 of this box. I'm coloring blue. Okay. And when I was figuring out how to teach you this skill, I was trying to figure out how I can show you visually what this concept is all about. We want to multiply those two fractions. And it came to my mind that this might work. This might help you to see what multiplication of fractions is really all about. So I want you to watch my screen. You can't do this, and that's okay. I want you to watch what I'm about to do. I'm going to pick up the blue colored box, and multiplying fractions means really that I'm overlapping the two. So I'm moving the blue box on top of the yellow box. That's what multiplying fractions is about. The 2/7, there's 2/7 and 3/5. Now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to overlap the two. Okay, so you've got that picture in your mind. Let me show you how to multiply these. You already know how because we've already learned. You multiply top times top and bottom times bottom. And you would simplify that if possible. This happens to be lowest terms. So you may be thinking, what does that have to do with this picture, or what is she trying to show me? Let me zoom in. Okay. Look at what happened when I overlapped the two. Where is the area that the two of these share? It's the green part, and this is why I needed to show you on my screen. When I overlap the blue and the yellow, I get the green. Yellow and blue make green. Here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green ones out of that box of 35. So that is essentially what multiplying fractions is about. You take one box, a second box, you overlap them, and you're looking for the part that they share, the green part in this case. Okay, I want to do another one of those. I'm going to use the same two pieces that I have. I know you don't have this one, so just watch this and think through it with me. I will go slowly so we can think through it together. In this one, I want to color 4/7 of this first box red. So let me come over here and get a red highlighter. I need to let it show through, and let's color 4/7 red. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. If you are a visual learner like me, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Once I can understand a picture, I'm good. If you're not a visual learner, it's okay. Just follow with me and don't fret about this. Alright, on this one, I want to color 4/5, which means 4 rows of 5. And I'm going to use blue on this one. So I want to color in 4 of those 5 rows. 4/5, that's almost the whole thing. 4/5 is the same as 80%. It is well over half, and you'll see that when I get this colored. I'm sorry, I'm trying to go fast but not mess up. So there is 4/5 of this row. And let me try to clean that up just a hair, because when we overlap them, we want them to look just fine. So here comes the multiplying. And remember essentially what I'm doing when I multiply. I'm taking this box, or let me do this one this time. It doesn't matter which one. But I am overlapping the two. And I'm trying to line that up as best I can. And this time you get that purple color. Red and blue make purple. So it is the purple that I'm looking at. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I would expect my answer to be 16, and then this total box has 35 parts. So let's see what we get. Top times top, bottom times bottom, and there it is. The 16 is the purple, the overlap. The 35 is the total number of parts in the whole thing. And that includes the red, the purple, the blue, and the white. So this is all the parts. But the multiplying gives me the purple parts. Back in this one, 6 was the number of green, 35 was all parts. So there are some visual representations of what multiplying fractions means. Now, I need to show you some other things about multiplying fractions. So let me turn over to a new page. I'm just continuing the lesson. So let's talk about canceling. In the last lesson video, I told you that I would show you a shortcut. And I'm going to keep my word. I'm going to show you 2 ways to do these problems. And you can decide which way you would rather do them. So here's the example. I want to multiply 5/16 by 8/15. And we're going to get an answer. So let me show you the first method. And I have had students who prefer this method, and that is okay. This method is to take top times top and bottom times bottom. So 5/8 are 40, and we have to multiply 16 times 15 over here. This is why we learn to do long multiplication. And that's 240. So I can simplify by taking off a 0 and then dividing 4 into top and bottom. So 4 into 4 is 1, and 4 into 24 is 6. So there is my answer of 1/6. That is the first method. This is not the method I prefer. The second method involves a process called canceling. And this is that shortcut I was talking about that some of you may already know, depending on how you learned your fractions. So let's look at the second method. It's the same problem, 5 over 16 times 8 over 15. And I'm going to zoom in. I want you just to focus right here. So here's how canceling works. First of all, you can only use it with multiplying. So there has to be a multiplication sign in there. So I'm going to look at my 16 and my 18. It has to be diagonal. You cannot go this way. You have to go diagonally. So the 16 and the 18 will get to cancel. And I can cancel here because both of these will divide by a 2, a 4, or an 8. So 8 divides into itself one time, and 8 into 16 is 2 times. So essentially I'm simplifying before I multiply. So let's go this direction. Here is 5 and 15. 5 into 5 is 1. 5 into 15 is 3. And then when I do top times top and bottom times bottom, look at what I came up with. The same answer. It's just that I did my simplifying before I multiplied. So I'm not getting these huge numbers to have to reduce. But either way, I get the correct answer. 1/6 is the answer. Okay, let's do another one without a picture. I know you can't see that overlapping. You have to do it mathematically. So here is another example. And I will do it both ways so you can see both ways. And this one is going to be 20/30ths times 10/12ths. 20 over 30 times 10 over 12. So let's do it without canceling. So I have 2 times 1, that's 2 with 2 zeros. Then 3 times 12 is 36 with 1 0. And I'm going to get rid of a set of zeros. And then I still have to simplify 20 over 36. And I know that it will go by 4s. 4 into 20 is 5 times, and 4 into 36 is 9 times. Okay, let's try it with canceling and see if we get the same answer. So we have 20 over 30 times 10 over 12. And remember, canceling only works with multiplying, and it only works diagonally. So I have the 30 and the 10. 10 into 10 is 1. 10 into 30 is 3. Now be careful on this one, because at first glance you think 12 won't go into 20 evenly, but it still will cancel by 4s. 4 into 20 is 5 times, and 4 into 12 is 3 times. 5 times 1 is 5. 3 3s are 9, and look at that. There's that same answer both ways. Either way is acceptable. I personally prefer canceling. But if you don't have to cancel. You can cancel on some and not others. It is not a rule that you have to cancel. Okay, let's do a few more so you get the hang of this. Let me look to see if I've written any down. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. Let's do 1/5 times 7/10. Sorry, I'm still on Shape Tool. 1/5 times 7/10. 1 times 7 is 7. 5 times 10 is 50, and that is lowest terms. It will not simplify. So that tells me that it could not cancel either. But let's look at this both ways, just so you know what I'm talking about. So I have a 5 and a 7, and there's nothing that will divide those two. You are not able to cancel this way. Nothing will break those down. And remember, breaking down is division in this case. If there's a 1, that's already lowest terms, so you can't cancel that way either. The only thing you can do to solve this one is multiply top times top and bottom times bottom. But that means that this answer will already be in lowest terms, most always. Not every time, but this one is already in lowest terms. So sometimes you can't cancel. You just have to think about each problem to see. Okay, here's another example. How about 5/6 times 2/3? If you don't cancel, you would get 5 times 2 is 10 and 6 times 3 is 18. That is not lowest terms because both of those will divide by a 2. So I get 2 into 10 is 5, 2 into 18 is 9. So I suspect this one can cancel if I choose to go that route. But this is an interesting one. I'm glad we have this example. Let's study this one just a second and see why I think it's interesting. 5 and 3 cannot cancel. There's nothing that will break both the 5 and the 3 down any further. But what about the 2 and the 6? And that one you can cancel by 2. 2 into 2 is 1 and 2 into 6 is 3. So I can cancel the blue way but not the yellow way. And that's okay. If you can cancel this way, that's fine. But you may not be able to do both ways. But do what you can, and then top times top and bottom times bottom. And you get 5/9 either way you go. Okay, let's do a few more. I also want to show you the calculator steps for this one. And I need a sheet of paper. I'll just grab this guy and bring him up here. I had only planned to do those examples, but I think I'm going to do just a few more. Let's do, I'll have to make some up. 3/4 times 6/15. So I have 3 times 6 is 18, 4 times 15 is 60. And then I need to break this down. I need to reduce it to lowest terms. And I'm going to use a 6 to do that. 6 into 18 is 3, and 6 into 60 is 10. I had a student to ask me not long ago, how can I get better at reducing? The answer to that is to practice your multiplication tables. Finding this orange number, that 6, is because I know my times tables and I use those times tables all the time. That's the way to get better at reducing. If you don't like reducing, I suggest using the canceling method. And let me show you how that one works here. So I'm going to use the 3 and the 15, and then the 6 and the 4, and I can cancel both ways this time. 3 into 3 is 1, and 3 into 15 is 5. The 6 and 4, I'm going to use a 2. 2 into 4 is 2. 2 into 6 is 3. Then top times top, and bottom times bottom, and there is that 3/10 that I'm looking for. Okay, just a few more. Let's do 2 more, and one of them I will show you the calculator. Let me show you this one though, because sometimes you have more than 2 fractions. So let's do 2/3 times 6/8 times 4/5 times 1/2. So we need to multiply 4 fractions right here. Alright, the first thing I do, and I am going to cancel, well, let me do it both ways since that's how we're doing it. On top, I have 2 times 6 is 12, times 4 is 48, times 1 is still 48. And then on the bottom, I have 3 times 8 is 24, times 10 is 240. And I would have to cancel this one by a 12. Sorry, reduce this one by a 12. And I suspect even that is not going to get me to lowest terms. So let me move, I believe a 24 is actually what I would need. But most people don't know their times tables through 24. So let's use the 12. That's hard enough, getting the 12. 12 into 48 is 4 times. 12 into 240 is 20 times. And then I can go again by 4. So 4 into 4 is 1, 4 into 20 is 5. And that is the final answer. This is not the way I would do this problem. Let me show you how to cancel on this one. You'll like this. Let's do our reducing before we do the building up, before we multiply. So here's the first thing I see. This is the ideal. If you have the same number top and bottom, you want to cancel that. That's a good canceling. So I'm going to say that 2 into 2 is 1, 2 into 2 is 1. The 1 itself right here is lowest terms, so it won't cancel. But here I see a 4 and an 8. Those will cancel. As long as they're diagonal to each other, you can cancel them. So 4 into 4 is 1, 4 into 8 is 2. And then I see one more. Do you see it? I have a 3 and a 6. So 3 into 3 is 1, 3 into 6 is 2. Okay. So here we go. On the top, when I multiply, 1 times 2 times 1 times 1, I get a 2. On the bottom, I have 1 times 2 times 5 times 1, I get a 10. That will simplify by 2. 2 into 2 is 1, and 2 into 10 is 5. So there is that 1/5 again. Either way gets me to the answer. Okay, here is one more, and we'll do calculator steps for this one as well. I'll work it both ways, and then we'll do the calculator. So let's do 50 over 75 times 25 over 100. These numbers are huge, and I did that on purpose. 50 times 25. Let me come over here and work this one out for you. If you can do it in your head, that's fine. But if not, I would have to multiply. So that is 1250. Did I do that right? Yes, okay. And then on the bottom, I have 75 times 1 and 2 zeros. So I have to simplify this thing. I can take a set of zeros off, but that is still a lot to simplify. I'm going to do it by 25. I think of money, quarters and dollars and those things. That helps me. So 25 into 125 is 5. 25 into 750 is going to be 3 and a 0. And that will simplify even further down to 1 over 6. I get the answer that way. It's just a lot of work. So let's try canceling. Let's see what we get if we can cancel. So I have 50 over 75, and I'm multiplying that by 25 over 100. So let me zoom in, and let's think through this one. 50 and 100. I can cancel that by the 50. 50 into itself and 50 into 100. 25 and 75. Think of money. I can divide that by 25. 25 into itself and then 25 into 75. And look at this. Top times top, bottom times bottom, and there is that 1/6 that I know to be the answer. So either way works fine. If you have a calculator, if you have the Casio FX260, let me give you the keystrokes. If you are taking a test with this calculator, I would pull out my notes the night before the test and review all of them. Anytime you see these buttons, practice those examples and you'll get really good with your calculator. Okay, first thing is all clear. 50 ABC 75 times 25 ABC 100. I always forget this last box, don't I? That's the equals sign. And you got to press equals to process those fractions. And let me do that. Let me find my calculator because I need to be sure that what I'm telling you is accurate. And I do not see my calculator. I am so sorry. Okay guys, I don't have my calculator with me at the moment, which is not a good thing. So let me just think through this. 50 ABC 75, 25 hundredths is. This should be fine. I will find my calculator after the video ends, and if it's not right, I will come back and do it for you again, but this is correct, I'm sure. So that is an example of how to multiply fractions on your calculator. I've shown you a lot in this video. If you need to, watch it twice, go through it, let it sink in. There is a practice workbook page for this one. So try those workbook problems and then come back in that next video with me and we'll work those together. If you have questions, also remember that you can contact your instructor and he or she will help you with these. I will see you soon for a new lesson, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.